Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video.
My wife may be cheating on me right now for 2 weeks. What can I do? Hello. I've never before gone to this website to speak about my feelings. I normally prefer to deal with things on my own. However, I'm in need of guidance, and I'm not sure how to communicate the truth to my buddy or to anyone else in my family. Basically, the scenario is that my wife was offered a 1-month position in another country, Italy, by a friend. She was hesitant to accept it since we had not been together for more than 2 months this summer due to the terrible illness, and she didn't want to be alone. But since she has been out of work since the outbreak of the pandemic began, and since I desire what is best for her rather than what is best for me, I told her to go for it. Consequently, we ended up spending just a week together in late September, and everything went well, just as it had every other time we were together. However, less than a week after she had returned, she was no longer accessible by FaceTime as often, and I began to get a strange feeling about the entire situation. She was chatting about this person, and she seemed to be enjoying herself, but I had the distinct impression that something terrible was going to happen. I didn't inquire since I didn't want to seem to be the envious and possessive spouse that I am. I usually hide and try to deal with those kinds of feelings because I judge them bad for both of us. But she began to speak about him more and more, and she began to exhibit strange, illogical feelings that I couldn't figure out what she was talking about. 2 days ago, she finally admitted that she had feelings for him. I assume that's how it normally begins, and she had been having nightmares since then, more attraction, no love. He's the sort of perfect Italian man that you want to be with, if you see what I mean. When she wakes up late in the morning, he gives her food and other such gestures. Due to the nature of her employment, her boss is insane, she has been under a great deal of stress, and since they are working together, he understands her plight. Everyone else, with the exception of the boss and her boyfriend, is fluent in Italian. I guess this has an accent too. As a result, she approached me and asked for permission to be free with him today since she is under a lot of strain and has had a couple of breakdowns as a result of her feelings for him. She also feels awful and guilty about the way she feels about him. She said that she feels trapped in our relationship because of the expectations I have placed on her, and she would never have thought to tell me anything like that if she didn't feel like she was speaking with another person. But I refused. She urged me to say yes, but I said no. She reacted angrily, citing as justifications the fact that we are still young, 28, and that I am her first genuine boyfriend, and that she never had the opportunity to participate in her experiences. I realized that bargaining was pointless since it would only lead to the disintegration of my marriage immediately rather than maybe later, and that it would drive her into his embrace. She will attempt not to FCK this person, although she has admitted that she will most likely do so, because she needs someone who understands her at this time, and since they haven't seen each other very much in the previous several months, she is expected to return home after her contract expires, in 2 weeks, and she has said that she loves me and that this is simply an experience that she and he will work through together, as we have in the past. But I'm not sure I'll be able to put my faith in her ever again after this experience. I mean, I had planned on having children and other things since I believed it would continue forever, but now I'm not sure what to think, and I certainly can't sleep unless I take sleeping pills. Is it preferable to postpone making a choice for a few months or a year before making a decision? I feel like she's spoken straight before about her intention to genuinely go nuts, and she seems serious about wanting to remain with me. Should I end the relationship as soon as she returns? Even though we've only been together for 6 years, 3 years married, we haven't had a child yet, and I like her more than anything in the world, I can't stop seeing her with an Italian male. I'm feeling lost and humiliated, and I'm not sure what to do. Any advice would be highly appreciated. Edit, I believe you have provided me with a viewpoint that I would not have had otherwise. I'm going to set up an appointment with a lawyer for tomorrow morning. I believe I've been acting as if the entire thing isn't genuine, which is also why I haven't contacted my family or friends about the situation. That is something I intend to accomplish tonight. Today I went through our photographs and removed them from the walls because I couldn't stand to see us so happy together in so many different situations. Now it's up to me to embrace it and make it a reality via my actions. It's just so difficult, mate. It's like everything was wonderful for 6 years, and then everything turned upside down in a matter of days. In other words, I simply want to maintain the idea that everything is going to work out and that everything will return to normal as soon as she gets back home. Yes, I realize what I'm saying is fake, and yes, I understand that I'm deluding myself, but I wish I could shut my eyes and continue to dream because right now my paradise has turned into hell. For the first time in my life, I was content. She was a serious person with high moral standards, and she was constantly critical of other people's actions. And now, After all of this time, she wants to cheat on me with me? What makes you think she's the same person I got married to? I considered every possible explanation I could think of to explain her behavior in 1,000 different ways. Maybe he was drugging her, maybe it was the stress, bipolar disorder, the troubles she had as a youngster, etc. I simply wanted to keep the truth hidden because the reality sounds so phony that I can't bring myself to believe it anymore. I was taken aback when I read all of the remarks on this board urging people to divorce. I was expecting someone to attempt to defend her or explain to me that stuff happens in relationships from time to time, but instead I got the opposite. Despite the fact that I continue to be perplexed by my current circumstance, I am aware of what I must do. But, God, what is the reason? Every day, I worked hard to be the greatest spouse I could be. It seemed like my first obligation, like my first sense of purpose in life. I'm feeling guilty right now, despite the fact that I know I tried my best. I was working on a project at the time and couldn't be as accessible as normal. She was anxious and emotional, which made it difficult for me to be around. Perhaps this explains why she spent so much time with this particular gentleman, or perhaps this explains why her sentiments began to surface. I'm not sure what to say to you, guy. I'm just devastated on the inside. Neither she nor we can believe it. I simply can't believe it. When we spoke on the phone and she told me the truth about how she wanted to him, I remained cool because I didn't want to end those 6 years in such a humiliating way. What we have is really valuable, I thought. In order to avoid being impulsive, I attempted to help her comprehend what I was trying to communicate. I made an effort not to force her into his embrace. Nonetheless, even if they didn't sleep together in the end, even if she continues to apologize, and even if she continues to claim that she still loves me and that the whole incident was a silly mistake, I now know that it will never happen again and that our future is still possible. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to get a divorce. If you have any suggestions for things to do to pass the time or keep me awake at night, such as a hilarious movie to watch or an entertaining television series that doesn't deal with love or infidelity, please leave them in a comment or send me a message. I'm also reading a philosophy book on Stoicism, but I have other things to do and I'm too unwell to go to work right now. Someone sent me a webpage that had psychological advice to assist me in dealing with the situation. I haven't eaten since the entire affair began. If you know of any amazing ones, not the typical BS that I can easily locate, it would be wonderful if you could share them as well. Thank you for opening my eyes, even if I didn't want to see the reality. I appreciate your help. Knowing that there are still decent individuals out there offers me some comfort, and it gives me some hope for the future. I suppose there is a ray of hope at the end of this tunnel. First, I want to say that I don't think they did anything before she asked for my permission. I may be naive, but as soon as she realized that her attraction to that guy was real, she called me. She always judged people behaving like that, and according to her, this is why she is feeling so bad about the whole thing. I didn't dare to say that if she does anything, it's over because I didn't want to let her stay with that dude. I would rather have the discussion in front of her and maybe even record it for the lawyer. I knew the situation was, but I didn't realize I was so close to the end of our marriage. Thank you guys for that. Yesterday, when she called me for my permission, I told her to not think about any pressure, because I understood that it was making things worse. Then I told her the whole story of why we decided to get married, to try to convince her to not do anything stupid, and that she is not trapped because the choices of what she does with her life are hers. I said that she didn't have my permission but she is a free person. I didn't talk about consequences also because I realized that it was making things worse, but I knew that it could mean the end, so I just tried to say that she was responsible for her own actions. She was acting like a child, so I talked to her slowly, in a really calm way and with a fake smile. According to her, and I kinda believe her, she went early in the morning to his room because she needed to talk and she needed support. I still can't understand how another guy can give her that. She told him that she didn't have my permission but that she was feeling less guilty about spending time with him and that right now she just wanted a best friend. Shortly after, the guy asked her to take a shower with him, and she said no, I guess because it was really sudden. He told her that he wanted her to leave him for him, and that he didn't want to be the second guy. She said that it was not possible because she still expected us to continue our marriage. So right now, the Italian guy doesn't want to see her anymore for anything else than work, and my wife is upset. She keeps apologizing to me, but I know that there are still 2 weeks to go and that if that guy was smarter, she would have definitely cheated on me, if not today, then in the next few days. So yeah, she is really distressed, and she asked me if I would forgive her, but I said that we need to talk about that when she is back. I still don't know what to think about this whole situation. It feels so complicated, and I didn't really sleep last night. But she definitely broke my trust. Things were just perfect until now. I just don't recognize the woman I married. But if in the end, nothing physical happens, maybe there is some hope.